All right, here we are. Welcome back to the Soapbox with Austin Malleolo. Wanted to dive into a quick episode on coaching development and furthering your education as a coach, becoming a better coach, what that looks like, and some of my pet peeves. It's a soapbox, so let's get on one. So right now we have a coach development program going on at Reebok CrossFit One, and it's an awesome program, a program that myself and Denise Thomas started and created, maybe 5-6 years ago, and it came out of a really need and cry out from the coaches in the CrossFit community after level 2, and they're like, how do I continue my development? The CrossFit level 2 certificate course is hands down the best course to get better at your coaching, where you get coached on your coaching. It's amazing. It's a wonderful course, and it's, at the end of it, a lot of coaches would come up to us and say, hey, how do I continue this journey? I just spent 2 days getting feedback, and it was really helpful. Thank you, but how do I continue? And there's a lot of things we can say, but I think the simplest thing is, keep getting feedback. Don't let, that moment be the first and last time you get feedback on your coaching, on your programming, on whatever it might be. So with that said, Denise and I, we got to almost create an opportunity for coaches to get feedback on their coaching, but in setting, in a gym, and let's have them come to the gym if they can, if they really want to do it, and let's try it out. And we started, and I'll spare you the whole history, but the coach development program was born, and it was born out of necessity, and it was sustained out of coaches wanting to get better. And every single coach out there that has walked through the doors for the coach development program in the past years, it's really amazing to see the humility, the sacrifice, the challenge that they put upon themselves to go to an environment where they know they're going to get feedback on their coaching. And it means so much to me, and it means so much to Denise. And now James Hobart is also one of the owners of the coach development program now. And so, we're in the middle of it, we're wrapping it up, and we've had 6 participants this past week, and just how hard they are working at their craft is so inspiring. They're studying, they're prepping, they're watching, they're spending hours upon hours a day on site. We have our allotted time, but they're coming early, they're staying late, they're watching other people's classes, and it really has shown me and proves to me every time how special the CrossFit community is. And it's, we talked about what the most important attribute a coach can have on a few episodes ago, and every one of these coaches care, and that's evident, but they realize that that's not enough. Some of these participants own gyms, they're head coaches, they are at the, in the world of, they're running a business, they're, and they're affiliates for 5+ years. So clearly they're doing something right. It's not that it's not like, wow, things are falling apart and failing. No, it's I want to optimize. I want to deliver a better product. I want to get better. I want to deliver a better product to, and I want to get my coaches better. And that to me is so special. And it's not easy. This is a program where we give feedback, and it's intense. And, when I see coaches working their butts off at getting better at coaching, it's not a fast process, but it's all right. Well, we're gonna watch class, we're gonna give you feedback, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna coach some more, and we're gonna sharpen it, we're gonna tweak it, and we're gonna get some small wins, and you're gonna leave the program with some opportunities to keep growing, but also knowing that we have areas of improvement, but also we're doing a lot of good things. And really so that's my inspiration. That's where I'm at right now. And that's why I'm sitting down talking to you guys here. But it's, I put a lot of people through seminars, and it's funny because you have 2 coaches. There's 2 types of coaches out there. And you have one type of coach, they're humble, they're hungry, they're willing and wanting to learn. Everything about them is, it's inspiring, invigorating, or reinvigorating. And then you have the the way I look at it is like the asshole, the coach that has a good base of knowledge. You kind of have a sense of they got a little swagger to them, and they go to a seminar because they have to. They do and because it's not within the world of a specialty, or it's not of the educational caliber that they want, or some BS like that. And I see this, and they come into a seminar, and they're just relatively standoffish. Their body language, and I see it all the time, and I think to myself, and obviously I'm unbelievably courteous and professional, and but I think, gosh, like, what is this person like when they coach? And then I talk to other gym owners about a coach or two they have, and then what happens is I start to piece things together of what these coaches are like, because thankfully we don't have any of those at my gyms because it's unacceptable. And it's the coach that I heard someone tell me the other day that one of their coaches didn't like getting feedback, and this was the excuse they gave, because it made the members feel weird that they was getting some type of feedback or something like that. So it was all this BS, and it's like, you don't like getting feedback. It made me so angry. It's like, great, then find another profession. And if you're one of those coaches out there that are young, humble, fired up, whatever it is, please don't ever fall into the trap to think that you're too good, that you're above feedback, that you're above any type of seminar, whatever it might be. Because if that creeps in, you better push it away. And if it is intoxicating, because if you become that person, gosh, you are a shitty coach, probably a pretty poor person, and no one probably likes you. Now, you can mask it with your big words and whatever it might be, but when it all boils down to it, the best coaches that I know in the world, and I have the opportunity to know some of the best coaches in the world, their willingness to learn, an openness, nothing is below them, everything is in front of them to learn, their humility, it's everything is an opportunity. And this is, I'm not telling anyone anything they don't know, but these are the two types of coaches we have out there, and we need to foster an environment in our gym that is healthy, that is something that we also stand for something as affiliate owners and head coaches. And if you want to start giving feedback to your people because you've never done that, awesome. That's great. You gotta, just because you haven't done something doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing it. It's all right. Well, maybe we need to start, because that's how we optimize the coaching staff. And then, you let them know that. But if they're not willing to get feedback, they don't want to get feedback, if it's too much for them, then you need to be really honest with them about the expectations of how we get better. And this is the world that we live in now. People get so offended that, it's like, shut up and listen. You're not special. You are one of many. And if you want to be special, then listen and learn, right? Very smart people have always said, you're going to go a lot further in life by listening than talking. So, which is ironic as I'm talking on this podcast. So you can have a giggle there. But again, let your people know what you expect, and because here's the thing, at your gym, you got to give your coaches feedback. You got to get feedback, because if they don't implement it and they don't get better, that is a performance marker. That's a key performance indicator. And if they don't follow up on that, then they shouldn't get a bonus. They shouldn't get progression in the gym, and they should be set on an action plan if they struggle and if they don't do that. If you're a full-time coach, for sure. If you're a part-time coach, you can, remember, that's part-time. They're only coaching a few hours a week. It's a much slower push. But, nonetheless, for your full-time people, you got to have some sort of key performance indicator. And if they're coaching 15 to 20 hours a week, then, that's, half of their hours. And half of their job efficacy should be based on their coaching efficacy and ability to implement and progress with that feedback. So that's something that I wanted to get it off my chest, because when I see these coaches walking around, it's like, it's great. It's like, oh, like, I don't want to go to the level 1 or level 2, whatever it is. And like, why? It's like, why aren't you getting your level 3? Why aren't you studying for that? And don't give me the I don't have time thing. That's bullshit. When people tell me I don't have time, all that means is I don't want it. It's that simple. You don't have time? No, you have time. You just don't want to make it a priority. It's not important to you. Things that are important to you get done. So stop telling people you don't have time. You don't have time? Prove it. And I'm not saying that my life is busier than anyone else's, but I know that if there's something I want, I do it. I stay up later, I wake up earlier, I work harder, I'm more efficient. Whatever I do, I get it done. And part of that is staying true to progressing. And so continually learn, get out there and study for your level 3, get out there and get feedback on your coaching, seek this stuff out. Don't just, be another cog in the wheel, and don't just think that what you're doing is the right, the best thing. You need to challenge and be a contrarian, and that's what the beauty of CrossFit is. So, these are just some things out there, but do not give me the, I don't have time. God, I hate that excuse. It's quite possibly, it's frustrating. You don't need to even, it's like, I'd rather you say, I don't want to. Cool. And at least you're honest with yourself, because maybe you can get a new job, get a new profession, do something different. Be honest with yourself as a lion. And remember, coaching's like driving anything, right? It's like, you can drive every day of your life. You've been driving since you were 15 or 16, whatever it might be. And if you're 30 years old, you've been driving, half your life, and you're probably an okay driver, a good driver. You're not a professional driver, because you've never practiced, you've never honed your craft. Just because you drive all the time, you've driven a lot, and you've driven a lot of scenarios, doesn't mean you are actually even a good driver. You've never received feedback on your driving from a professional. You've practiced and drilled and drilled and drilled, and I don't think anyone out there is professing to be a professional driver. So don't profess to be a professional coach. Profess to be a coach and work towards being a professional coach if you're going to put that in, right? Just because you coach for 5 years, 40 hours a week, 20 hours a week, whatever it might be, doesn't mean you're a good coach. You don't get a shoe-in like that. You got to drive and work your butt off. And you got to get feedback on that. And even still, you might be a good coach, but does that mean you're a great coach? I don't know. I see a lot of coaches that, they're coaches, but they have major holes in their game. They're not bad people. They're great people. But it's just clear they're just not a professional coach yet. And what do I mean by professional coach? It's like, all right, I'm a professional driver. All right, yeah. I get paid to do this craft, so I'm a professional. Yeah, sure you are. So if that's the definition, but the definition I'm talking about is someone that treats what they're doing with the utmost respect, and you want to be the tip of the spear. I don't want to be a professional, CrossFitter, and it not be my sole goal to be the best in the world, right? If I'm going to be a professional CrossFitter athlete, I'm going to try to be the best in the world. If I'm going to be a professional driver, I'm going to try to be the best in the world. If I'm going to be a professional coach, I'm going to try to be the best in the world. And that has to be your driving force. If that's going to be your driving force, then just stop driving around without getting feedback. Get someone else in the car next to you. Get that feedback. And that's when I see affiliate owners of 5 to 10 years come through the doors at our coach development program and bust their butt and get better, get brought to tears because of how difficult the stuff is and how much they realize that they of what's happening. It's so awesome. It's humbling. It gets me emotional. Never forget that you are not special. There's nothing about you. You're just you. So work hard, be humble, and keep pushing forward. With that, you realize that you're in complete control of so many things, one of which is getting things done. It's not that you don't have time, it's not a priority. Make yourself and make your profession a priority. And that's the soapbox I want to get on. Don't be an asshole coach, okay? Just don't do it. Be humble. I mean, I I've had coaches that work for me full time now that have showed up at my gym and said, I just want to come and watch and learn. I want to intern. I want to work here for free. I'll do whatever it takes to be here for free. I just want to be around. And it's still to this day so amazing to see these individuals, and almost every single one of them have gotten a job, or they've progressed to the career where they get to choose what their next steps are. Those people are better than you if you're not doing it. They're showing up and they're putting it in. And honestly, it's funny because, every one of these people I want to hang out with as human beings, as people. They become my friends because they have this, they're just good people. They work hard. When people walk in and they're like, I want a job here, I'm like, cool. You probably won't ever get one. But if you show up and you join the gym and you be the first one in, you're the last one out, you put it in. I mean, that's what I like it. And that's if that's not your jam, that's fine. But that's how I started. That's how I walked into my first gym, and I asked if I could coach like an idiot, and they said no, got no hours. But if you can work out here, and I just never left. And when a coach didn't show up, I started coaching, and next thing you know, I became a full-time CrossFit coach. The rest is history. So that's what I got for you. That's my soapbox. There's two types of coaches out there. Don't be the one that no one likes, or the one that says that oh man, I really like this guy, and they said no, I really don't. Be humble, be hardworking, seek feedback. Nothing is above you. Nothing is below you. Everything is just an opportunity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you guys. Hopefully I didn't bore you off the box. I want to talk about some finance stuff next week. I want to talk about personal finances. It's a passion of mine. I love it, and it's been a request by a few people. So we'll talk about the top 5 things to do to create a financially fit future for yourself, your family. I just get really into it. I really nerd out about it. I've had a financial advisor for almost 7 years or so, and learned a lot, do a lot of research on it. So that's coming next week. So I know that's some people's stuff, some people not into it. So I figured I'd give you a heads up. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you next week.